Hi everybody, we're going to talk about how to save your mom's life. Happy Mother's Day, okay? Premenopausal female, they almost never get a myocardial infarction. Every month when a woman menstruates, like a therapeutic phlebotomy, when you lower the hematocrit, the number of red blood cells in the blood, you make the blood less thick. You lower the blood viscosity. That lowers the risk of the blood clotting, and it thus lowers the risk of having a occluded coronary artery, myocardial infarction. The relevance is that's the most common reason men die at a premature age. What we're trying to do here is keep your mom alive long enough to see your grandchildren, all right? In terms of living to 90, that's another lecture. That's too big of a topic. But this is just what's the main thing that causes a woman to die prematurely? It's cancer, okay? So how do you lower your risk of cancer? Most important thing is don't eat meat, okay? Meat's the most common cause of cancer, just so you know. All right, there's a lot of stuff on the internet trying to say meat's okay, saturated fat's okay. It's not even true. There's like this fake debate to trick all the ignorant people, but anybody who's really studied nutrition and studied cancer knows that meat is the most common cause of cancer. All right, now obviously processed meats are much worse than sort of regular meat, if you will. The grass-fed meat's an improvement, but all meat's bad, just so you know. All meat is similar. All meat, I'm talking fish, chicken, you name it, they're all bad. And why is that? The reason is all meat is basically the same thing. It's animal muscle, meaning that it's protein and fat. Animal protein is a terrible substance to be putting into your body. Why? Animal protein has a lot more leucine than does plant protein. The leucine activates mTOR. mTOR is an abbreviation for mammalian target of rapamycin. Okay, what is that? It's a nutrient sensing pathway, like a contractor getting ready to build a building. It wants to make sure all the building materials are available before it starts to build. The rate limiting step is leucine, because you need a lot of amino acids to make protein, and leucine tends to be the one in short supply. So once you've got leucine available, it'll tend to push cells into cell replication, cell growth. When you're 20 years old, lifting weights, you want to get some curls for the girls, some big biceps, yeah, you might want to speed up growth, okay? But when you're after 40, you don't want that. Anything that speeds up cell replication speeds up your risk of cancer. What else does meat do? It increases insulin-like growth factor, ILGF. And that's thought to be one of the main things that meat does to increase your risk of cancer. Meat just does that. I mean, what's the purpose of milk, for example? To make a baby cow grow fast, to divide and replicate fast those individual cells. You don't want that. Saturated fat causes insulin resistance, which leads to increased insulin in the blood. Insulin's an anabolic hormone. It encourages cell growth, okay? You don't want high levels of insulin. It's bad for you. Methionine, another protein, amino acid, especially high in meat, is essential for cancer growth. There's multiple reasons why meat is the #1 tumor promoter. A lot of research has been done on what a terrible tumor promoter casein is. That's especially a milk protein. Toxins stored in animal fat. When you got your factory farm cow and it's fed all this pesticide sprayed food, those are bioaccumulating in the animal's fat. When you eat that animal, it's all going into your body. At least when you eat, a plant food and you're low on the food chain, there's not going to be as much pesticides. Better to eat organic. Organic food has less pesticides. It's not perfect, but it's got a lot less pesticides. And try to buy it from a country that's relatively reliable. There's some countries that they don't even take organic seriously. So if it comes from those countries, don't eat it. All right? The organic in this country, as far as I know, I've read some studies about populations eating organic versus non-organic. They test their blood, their urine, their hair, and they got a lot less pesticides. So this country's pretty good, as far as I know. What else? You want to have carbon filtration for your whole house, if possible. The reason is there's a lot of toxic stuff in water. All this stuff about drink 8 cups a day is stupid. It's not true. It didn't even exist until they started selling bottled water and Gatorade. Okay, the marathon Olympic champions in the 1960s and 70s, they didn't even have 1 sip of water before they complete the whole race. I wrestled in college. We sweat off 5 to 10 pounds every practice. We didn't drink water till after practice. Nowadays, you got all these wimpy people go to the health club with their bottle of water. It's a big joke. You got all these fat women walking around drinking water thinking it's good for their health. They're probably drinking tap water that's full of toxic stuff in it. All right, so ideally, you'd have a reverse osmosis filter for your kitchen, but they're kind of expensive, about $600. You got to get them checked once a year. Change the carbon component. No tobacco. Don't smoke at all. Cigarettes are totally stupid. Any form of tobacco, chewing, whatever, it all increases cancer risk. I recommend 0 alcohol. Alcohol is a cancer promoter, okay? I don't care. I know a lot of people like a cup of wine and some cheese at night. Cheese is a major tumor promoter. Don't eat any cheese. If you have to have a cup of wine, limit it to 1. You're pouring a tumor promoter over your mouth, your throat, your esophagus. Alcohol is nothing good about it. So that's just my opinion. If you want something that's in a grape, fine. But the skin is so thin on a grape, I don't even trust a grape. You can get pesticide, go right through it. I wouldn't eat it. All right, no alcohol, no sweeteners. Don't be drinking soda pop or any sweetened drink. They're all bad for you. The industrial fructose goes right to your liver, gets made into sat fat. And then it has that effect to increase insulin resistance and then lead to increased insulin. So it's tumorigenic in that sense. Let your mom sleep. She needs to sleep. We heal during our sleep. We got a whole lecture on sleep, but try to avoid unnecessary stress. Don't stress your mom out for no reason.